Hello everyone, today we're looking at one of the closest best of threes, or the closest best of three match in Ark Nova history so far. This is from the October edition of the Ostrich Olympics. If you guys saw my match against Portgard, that was the quarterfinals of that tournament. This series is also from the quarterfinals of the same tournament, but between Bo3 and dmannaioni. So at the start of the series, both players get to ban 2 maps. So the map bans for this series are map 2, 3, 6, and 9. If the players play opposite maps, then the following game they have to mirror, they have to reverse. So we'll see what the maps picked are for the first game. We're looking at this from Deucey's perspective because he is the first player. So he's picked Ice Cream Parlor's map 7. D-Man has picked, oh god. I made them that big for the thumbnail, but they don't need to be that big. It's going to happen every game. It's going to jump scare me every time. D-Man picked Commercial Harbour. So game 2, we're going to see the opposite. We're going to see D-Man on Ice Cream Parlors and Deucey on Commercial Harbour. Hey, Harp Attack. Yeah, and map 10 is always banned. Card's too small. I think you're being sarcastic, but I think that's about the right size. Even feels a bit too big. What do you guys think about the card size? Anyway, so Deucey's opening hand on Ice Cream Parlors projects are Africa, herbivores, and Europe. End goals aquatic and favorite zoo. I think that's probably about right. Hey, Leslin. So Deuce's first player, he has priority on partner zoos, so could very easily start with just 2 Africa. Then I think I also like keeping both the Europe animals. Work towards that project. You also have a rhino, which is a herbivore, and just like we're already on our way to species 5, so it's a pretty easy project to support. I'd probably keep 4. You can also make an argument for the monkey park, because we do start with sponsors on 5. And Monkey Park's not actually that bad for connecting all the kiosks. So maybe Monkey Park instead of Slow Worm, and I'd probably keep those. Let's go with those 4. So I would expect first move here is just grabbing Africa Partner Zoo. I guess we should note the display. He actually grabs the 2-rep university, so that could mean a few interesting things. Potentially looking to grab the reputation and then drop expert on Africa from range. Means you could still support 2 Africa without having to get the partner zoo. Although if D-Man starts with Africa, then you could get in a bit of a break chicken situation. There's also native lizards on display, which is just a very strong card on this map. It's like 9 appeal if you connect all your rocks. But I expect the reputation is just to drop one of those 2. There would be no other reason to do it. And it must be expert on Africa, right? Otherwise you'd just take the hand size university. But D-Man is on Commercial Harbour, so he just builds a size 3. Draws a random card from deck. The positioning of it's pretty interesting. Looking at it, I would have thought for sure he has a Reese's Monkey Park himself, because it just fits really nicely on the harbour there. But it must be a giveaway that he has a sponsor building of some kind that he wants to fit in here. I'm just not sure which one yet. Very fast upgrade. Deucey's in the chat, by the way. Deucey is David M. Okay, so then the other angle is you just connect to this rep and get a fast upgrade. I guess maybe then you could just cover the other rep, upgrade sponsors, and play Export on Africa directly from range. That would work too. But that is one nice thing about Monkey Park on this map in particular. You can loop it around here to get 1 rep and then 2 very easily. I definitely would have played this differently to start with. D-Man does grab Africa. Now's the time where we have to drop Export on Africa, otherwise it probably gets snapped up by D-Man next move. Instead, just opting for the 2 size for the rock monitor, not drawing anything up yet. Does upgrade animals, in fact, actually. Maybe a bit greedy. I think this is going to be snapped away. Doesn't. Okay, D-Man just draws from the deck. The size 3 African animal. Well, we know it's not the tortoise. Could be the leopard. Would be... maybe it's a leopard and he has a spotted hyena compound for here. Doocy also draws from deck. Hits 3 pretty incredible cards, actually. Without hand size, he's going to have to firstly discard 1 and then at least sell another one with the rock monitor. I think Water Playground's the least playable because we're a little bit far away from any water coming up. Does get rid of the P-Foul. But you probably just sell the Water Playground as well. D-Man does play Spotted Hyena Compound. Yeah, opposite shape to Monkey Park, so it doesn't quite connect. But also amazing on Commercial Harbor because you can just sell every card that you hunt if they're bad. And that would strongly suggest he has the Leopard as well. Unsuccessful hunt. Okay, Doocy plays the Rock Monitor. Sells both the sponsors, actually. Didn't need to sell both. But his next move is going to be causing the break anyway. And it's actually really good timing for him because D-Man's going to play his Africa Animal. Doocy's going to cause the break, but D-Man won't be able to associate for Africa too. So it's a bit of project denial here. Okay, it's not the Leopard. It is the Ring-tailed Lemur, so at least we get to... D-Man gets to sunbathe the extra cards. I'm a little bit surprised he's not causing the break here. I guess you can build a 2 and drop native lizards. But now you are in a break chicken situation where neither player wants to break. Could also drop X1 in Africa, but I think native lizards just better. Okay. This will give a lot more instant appeal. This will still give 3 instant appeal and also clevers in the future. Oh, I'm just being an idiot. This is actually the Africa 2 he needs. Okay, don't mind me. There's no break chicken. D-Man just wants to cause the break ASAP. He does connect to the harbor now with a pavilion. And now we're going to have break chicken with both players having 2 Africa. So D-Man breaks 3, which is an effective way of winning break chicken. He has a ton of money. Now whoever does cards first causes the break. We know Doocy threw away his other sponsors, so with less money, it's almost impossible that he's going to win break chicken here. It's a good question. Why not build before the animals action? not sure. You could definitely build before the animals action. I think at the time, was it after D-Man played the Spotted Hyena compound? It was probably safe to build and play both. I guess Ducey can also play the Barn Owl and hope to hit more sponsors to stay in the round a bit longer. But both players are just going to posture a little bit, get some X tokens. Bright Chicken's a little bit scary when you have no sponsors and you don't know the opponent's hand. But there were definitely lines where you could like build and draw up native lizards too. But he is deciding to spend an X, get rep number 7 and play the Barn Owl, so hopefully you're going to hit a sponsor here. Doesn't hit any. Out of these, both the monkeys look pretty appealing, just with the monkey park already, but also the sloth bear's not bad either, especially for the rhino project. Maybe it's just 1, 2. Yeah. Oh, it keeps the pond turtle actually. Oh, yes, for Europe. Yeah, so while we played the Barn Owl, D-Man's playing Adventure Playground. Can also drop another card. Native Lizard's not in range for him, though. Does draw from the deck. And I would expect Ducey to just break here. I'd say relatively even start so far. Incomes are pretty even. D-Man has a lot more money and is going to do Africa 2 first. I think both players would be very happy with like 5x tokens. It's most likely you'd spend them before the end of the game, so I think Export on Africa is not that relevant for the discussion of keeping X tokens. D-Man takes snapping first, so Penguin Pool would be kind of interesting. There's also the Wall Lizard here, which is just another Europe tag. See what he opts to go for. Does upgrade build. And snaps up the Wall Lizard. So pretty conventional start. Snapping is a pretty standard reward on Commercial Harbor. Just because you nearly always take snapping over 5 money, because you can just sell the card at worst for 3 money, but you get a lot more upside. Now Africa Release shows up. If Ducey really wanted a project to do, he could spend 2 X's to snap it up here, but surely not worth it. I think just grabbing second university makes sense here, because he's getting 8 reputation to get another worker anyway. And then we'll probably see a standard build upgrade. Now the onus is kind of on D-Man to cause the break, with Ducey having another worker. But D-Man also has a lot of money, so maybe he just doesn't care that much. They'll snap up the project. It doesn't really matter which one of them gets it, because releasing the lemur or the rock monitor both can leech off the other project. Indeed, yes, it's my favorite jumper. Pavilion, I understand. 2 size is a little odd. Would have expected a 3 size here for sure. So the plan is kiosk. There's no 1 size that can touch water. But I think 3 size was interesting for the tortoise or the sloth bear. Does draw up a card randomly and gets hydrologist, which is pretty bad on ice cream parlors, but it's fine. It's a sponsor to play when Juicy wants the longer round. I'm not very sure about this build action though. It hasn't really helped us at all. The man builds a 3 size himself, which is interesting because when he releases the lemur, he's going to get a 3 size back. So I'm wondering if it's for the tortoise or not, or if it's for something different. He doesn't build to draw it up. Sells a random card too. Juicy spends an X here to grab Partner Zoo, most likely just Africa. I would have expected Africa just to go for 4 sooner. We also have a uni on 5, so could potentially just be rushing for 4 or 5 Europe to get this university. But it's guaranteed to not get it because D-Man already has the release project to get him past 5. Africa makes sense. Europe makes sense because we have the pond turtle in hand with a discount. But I'm still a bit surprised we don't have the tortoise in our hand right now. Now D-Man plays the leopard. Hunts a rock python, which will probably just be sold. And also hunts a lesser flamingo, looks pretty good. So does the zebra, really. Could definitely keep either. Keeps the coati instead because it is another predator to just hunt more animals. That also makes sense. Does play the wall lizard that he snapped up earlier. Hey, Katush. Juicy has to X back animals here because he doesn't have a playable one. This game's not looking very good anymore, I have to say. The advantage Juicy has is he's well ahead on upgrades. He's got 2 universities, 1 partner zoo compared to 1 partner zoo. But now he's on ice cream parlors facing an income deficit. His opponent has a free uni on 5 that's going to help with upgrades. Oh no, keeping the Rhino is definitely important for later in the game, especially with Juicy's slow start. The Rhino will help him come back in the end with a 5 CP project. Like, he's already got 5 different species with the Sloth Bear. Yeah, Juicy having the extra worker is part of the upgrade advantage. D-Man can't cause the break in 1 move, so just does the card's 3 action. Which is fine. Could have broken 5, but doesn't really want Juicy to cause the break and get the X token, I guess. I don't mind breaking 5 from D-Man's perspective first, because then you just get to draw the extra card, which is 3 money. Now Deuce is going to spend an X to build. Pavilion 1 size makes sense. Well, 1 size makes sense next to water. Still no 3 size. We're not going to have 1. It's another random 2 size. Okay, this map is very messy. This is looking like one of my maps. But it does connect to all the kiosks, so now at least he has an income advantage. The man causes the break. Does have snapping as well, so we'll see if something good appears for him to snap up. The tortoise disappears. That brown bear looks really nice. We know that D-Man hunted up the coati, so this brown bear is playable for him very soon. It's also a Europe tag, so that looks like an amazing... I'm a bit surprised at the penguin pool there. It's also a predator hunt. I think if D-Man doesn't end up getting this, that's a pretty big mistake, unless he's already sold the Coati, which is possible. But I don't see why he'd be interested in selling it. See, Ducey does grab Africa now. Does upgrade cards, so I mean the brown bear is just in range for him. Okay, here we have the Lima release into... I do like the uni reward here. So uni reward from the map as well as from 5 CP. That means he can get like bam double upgrade. So that's pretty nice timing. I think this game would be a lot better from if you had the brown bear right now, I think. But it's going to get drawn away here. Firstly, really nice draws here. I'm also shocked that brown bear's not getting drawn up when Ducey has the sloth bear. I think both these players are missing something pretty big here. But the fox is going to give Ducey 4 Africa. The re is just nice for all these random 2 sizes we have. I'm just honestly stunned. Okay, we have the 4 size. Expect the 2 size is for the Coati. Not sure what the 4 size is for yet. Assos 2 is a pretty damn good action. Assos times 2. Would you have the Hydra coming out? I expect Ducey's going to play the Fox next. It's a bit of a waste of its clever action, because I'm not sure you actually do want a clever down build. I guess maybe you could clever it down and clever down animals behind it. But you kind of want to build like a 3 size and a 4 size for these guys. Yeah, bear is amazing for both players. It's honestly shocking. There is the Coati as well. It hunts a useless petting zoo animal, which will probably just be sold. Oh wow, Demon has a lion. Okay. Only pack 4, but I mean also hunt 4. Does hunt a Mamba, which is playable. It's pretty nice. I think Ducey wants the space for an aviary. I'd say maybe he's keeping it there speculatively, but seems pretty unlikely because we did see him throw away the Marabou earlier. He does have a spot for a 4 size down here for the Rhino, but the map is pretty messed up, so it's like only a 4 size down here and then a 5 size here. It's just an aviary shape here, but there's nothing really indicating that Ducey wants an aviary, and certainly not the case for D-Man. Although now the bear is looking super awkward for him to play because the only spot it'll fit is up here. Okay, here we have the fox and the... well, either or, doesn't matter the order. Pond turtle. Wolf is nice because it's Europe number 4, so... I mean, so is the brown bear. It's crazy to me. Yeah, just clevers down sponsors and then build. Okay. Right before Ducey has 4 Africa, D-Man just says, nope, gonna break 7 here, which I think's a very strong move. He's out of money, he wants to break anyway. And it also gives him a second or third chance to snap away the brown bear to make up for his mistakes earlier. There's really nothing else better on display. If he snaps up the alpaca because he's kept the horse, I think that's very unlikely. Communicator, both players shouldn't really be interested in. The thing is, in D-Man's spot, especially on Commercial Harbor, when you're going to ×2 Association later, upgrading Association is really strong. Like, it gives you just the last two donations alone is like an extra 6 points when crossing. So if he's going to upgrade sponsors here just to get the extra worker from Talented Communicator, I'm not a fan, because if he wants an extra worker, there's this guy right here that gives one as well. This is not scripted. I haven't watched the game yet. I'm sort of like watching as we go. I'm just surprised. We have 4 Africa. We'll see if Ducey snaps up the brown bear, but I don't have any hopes of this either. Just takes worker. Taking worker's fine because it lets him do another project this round. I guess he's going to build a 4 size to play the wolf and just do 4 Europe. Does upgrade a Sos, which I like. Yeah, that's a good thing about Ice Cream Piles as well. Part of the reason it's such a strong map is the last worker giving an extra 2 shields, so you definitely want to have some way to get the last worker. The man does cards. Takes the alpaca, so that kind of suggests that he's kept the horse. Oh my god, he takes it. Okay, he takes it. Let's go. Now Explorer shows up. Aquarium's very dead for both players. Ducey needs this enclosure space to play Wolf and Rhino. Aquarium's just actually not dead at all. Could be interesting, but the water spaces are mostly dead. There is no way the brown bear got sold there. Whoever said aviary spot earlier could be interesting. Bald eagle. Aviary still fits here, but it could also be a bit of a bait eagle because I think it's pretty important to play the wolf unless we find another Europe tag here, which we do. Okay, problem solved. Well, okay. Hang on. Now you really have to work out room. So aviary goes here now for sure with double eagle. That's one of the best card draws I've ever seen. Hypnosis and double eagle. Rhino down here. That means Sloth Bear and Panda are probably dead. You can fit 1 3 size. These extra actions are actually so big because Ducey is far behind right now. The advantage he has is upgrades complete plus gonna do like 5 Europe now. Does also have a project to do with like a Fox release. So Ducey has projects to do. We're not really sure what D-Man has to do. Yeah, what an amazing draw. Never mind, D-Man has stuff to do. D-Man has 5 geological just casually sitting in his hand there. Does take 2 sides, which is very important on this map. Covers the reputation with it. So it also gets 3 card draw, which is amazing on Commercial Harbor. It does drop the Mangalitsa, so now we're pretty confident he has triple Petting Zoo in hand. I definitely did not see Geo 5 incoming. At least Ducey does have Favorite Zoo as well, so I mean, good endgames here. Hydro should hit. Export in Africa could be like up to 5 appeal. It's never usually all 5, but yeah, no endgames for D-Man. Hello, David. Ducey playing animals before buildings, so most likely just Adder here, which is... I don't actually mind Adder if it's to like X-back sponsors. That seems like a pretty decently strong move, because you're just delaying the break while you have 2 workers. D-Man has no workers, although D-Man's about to get another worker. So now I'm not sure about that anymore. Does deny the Explorer. He knows that D-Man snapped up the Communicator earlier. Plays the Rhea and the Adder. Hey, Tyrone. It is to X-back sponsors. I think it's still okay. D-Man's definitely going to build and play animals here and get another worker and get last partner zoo, so it's still fine. I know a lot of people would have kept the Hypnosis there. Maybe it's a bit tempting to keep it to like steal the upgraded sponsors to play Explorer. That would be interesting. See, builds the petting zoo, pavilion. 1 size up here, leaving that 2 size during the break potentially. Ducey does his project here. We don't see what's on folder 6. I'm not sure what the reward would be. 2 size not really necessary at all now. Could definitely be pouching with this many cards in hand. You like have no use for the Wolf, Sloth, Bear, Duke, and Explorer, so I do like pouching here. Five money helps us afford the Eagles, but what's the advantage of 5 money? 5 money means we can build the Aviary and play the Golden Eagle now, I guess. As well as donate once. I do like pouching a lot because we have 4 useless cards. No, I'm definitely not in sync with these players this game. Okay, there was an Eagle Owl on display which gets dug away and kills the replay, so we're gonna have to fix this up. Move 300 exactly. Hey, Zach. Don't mind the weird screen for the moment. Gotta find where it was again. There we go. Okay, D-Man plays the Mangalitsa and the horse. Digs away the Eagle Owl, reveals another Rhino, which I guess he should be pretty interested in. Well, it's almost certainly going to be an Aviary for Doocy now. Does actually break first, so now I'm even more confused about 5 money. Doocy, do you want to explain the 5 money? It's a complicated method, but basically, if you fast forward the replay, this sidebar appears all the way down the bottom of the game log, like down there. And then someone in my Discord told me that you can like inspect element and like make it go back up here. So that's what I did. Yeah, I'm very shocked by the move. This is like, we have 5 extra money, but 4 appeal just disappeared. Doesn't have snapping either, so D-Man can get this Rhino. And that means we could have a bit of a race. Well, I guess Doocy might just go for species 5. He wants to grab like a third partner zoo anyway for the worker, so Doocy can do habitats 5, and then D-Man probably wants a species 5, which he hits with this Rhino. Oh, no. No. Okay, I understand the idea behind this play, but oh no. Draws out the polar bear exhibit, builds the 2 sides there to play it, and then get the X token that way, but I really hope he has a way to cross, because there's no more big animals coming in this zoo. Oh my. Actually puts the ×2 on animals as well, okay. He does have minus 31 cards in hand, but... Okay, seems like he has a lot of animals, not a lot of projects. I'm confused about the Rhino. I mean, the polar bear exhibit's nice because it also lets you hunt 5 for another animal. Does hit a porcupine, does hit a caracal. Doocy saying he's got it all calculated for these expensive animals and donations. Doocy, you know a double pouch move is worth 1 donation, right? It's even better than 1 donation. Okay, D-Man does have first move, so he gets the Rhino from display. So, okay. That's a denial only unless he has... No, it's just a denial only. He can't fit this in his map anymore. Unless he gets Partner Zoo here and Diversity Researcher. Which he could do, but feels a bit slow getting a Partner Zoo now that he's already put his ×2 down. And we might see it. So that could mean Diversity Research is a pretty big denial here. Doocy throwing his X's away to build 9. So yeah, Aviary makes sense. 4 size makes sense. Can also get a 2 size reward to connect to the last Hydro spot, as well as play a sponsor for money if he finds one. Does draw the Cobra as well, sure. D-Man does grab Partner Zoo here. Australia Partner Zoo as well is actually very annoying for Deucey, I have to say. Maybe that leads Deucey to do species diversity instead, or even like reptiles is an option. But species diversity can still build a 3 size for the sloth bear here. Okay, now in Deuce's position, you have to deny this diversity researcher, I think. Does do animals first. It's fine, gets more money. Okay, we have Golden Eagle first for Europe 5 as well as the Rhino, so Deucey's got 2 big projects coming up. Okay, birds works as well. Does have 4 birds with the other eagle. That also makes sense. We do have Europe. X tokens not denying diversity. Does get a donation as well. It's actually put D-Man in a bit of a tricky position, because he can just break 7 next move, which he certainly wants to do, so D-Man has to play animals here. Does start with the Caracal to hunt. Hunt's a pack animal, which fits in this size 3, and he just grabbed Australia Partners View. Wow, that's a really nice hunt. That was only the hunt 2 as well, so we still got a hunt 6 incoming here. Does hit a water dragon, which is playable. Plays raccoon. Okay, we have hunt 7 plus even more packing coming. That makes the polar bear exhibit make a lot more sense. Hits a wombat. Now plays the sea lion for hunt 8 and pack 8. Keeps the links, but doesn't really matter. Can't fit the others, or could have kept the macaque, I guess. And alpaca 3rd petting zoo animal, so now D-Man's on 86 points. Chooses not to boost up or down a Sos though. So that really tells us he has no project to do. I think his move just wants to be diversity researcher here. Maybe fill map, or maybe just build a 4 size for the Rhino, get 5 predators. Those are some great hunts though. Deucey decides no point in breaking now, but should really drop this diversity researcher. Takes Archie, okay, does deny it. That's a good move. Check when he sold the bear. I'll ask him. We do have D-Man building the 2 size here. So could get close to finishing with another animals action, but I don't think he has quite enough. Also threatening to do a project if he has one. Deucey really calling his bluff that he can't end. This is a dangerous position to not break in. I don't actually know how many cards D-Man has, but it must be quite a few because he's done like 4 hunt actions that animals action. Does build 2 size for the Cobra. 3 size probably for the Sloth Bear. Does get to play Archaeologist, which is the 2nd science we need for the Cobra. Yeah, D-Man is out of stuff to do now. Just grabs 2 reputation. This was my concern with the polar bear exhibit over the Rhino, because I think the Rhino gives us like a really clear path, gives D-Man a really clear path to end with the 4 size and 5 CV projects. Does take expert in small animals, which kills the replay again, very annoyingly. Move 401. I really wish BGA would do something to fix this. Inspect element. Yeah, there used to be no problems. Okay, Deucey does now cause the break. Yeah, D-Man just did the 2-rep action. Deucey causes break here. Still got a 30-point deficit right now, and I mean, you guys know this is a close game. Deucey's banking up these extra actions, does have a 4 CP project to do, has Determination plus Cobra. Yeah, and it looks like D-Man's just really struggling to find a way to end. So at the very least, he can end in 2 moves with like an animals action and then completing the map. Does have plenty of money as well. Snaps the reindeer, which is just a flocking denial. But now Deucey has a lot of money and he can do all 4 of these animals. It's all calculated. So, I mean, let's see, 55 money, 36, 41. Those animals cost 55 money. I will give him credit for that. You could still definitely justify that pouching is better than playing a grass snake. Okay, D-Man plays the Mamba and Wombat. He should just pouch and cross here, which he does. So finishes on 101. I mean, let's look at his endgames. Just polar bear exhibit, really. Deucey is loaded with X tokens. Okay, Eagle first. Cobra next to Hypnotize. Shouldn't have used a Sos because he knew about the Cobra. I mean, you can still Hypnotize his animals action though, right? We have a Sos 8 for birds and last partner zoo for the last worker. It does take pouching now. This hypnosis is just 2-rep. I guess playing the Sloth Bear is actually pretty bad because it gives Polar Bear exhibit points. So it's possible double pouching plus a SOS 2 for this CP is just actually better. Because he didn't have enough X token to play 2 animals. I mean, finishing on 101 versus 100, there's 1 CP from Expert on Africa, 1 shield from Hydrologist. So both players are actually on 104 points before the hidden endgames. Deucey does have 3 from Favorite Zoo. And Demon has 3 from Climbing Park, so we have a dead tie. Deucey wins on tiebreakers by 1 project, 4-3. That did not go the way I expected the game to go. I think in D-Man's position, playing the animals and just crossing still seems correct. You know, Deucey has a Cobra, but he was a lot of points behind. So, I mean, it shows the power of extra actions, which no one should really need to... Everyone should already know this, but like 2 Hypnosis this game, 2 Eagles. Even though Deuce was very far behind, getting those extra 2 actions late really helped. How many turns? Good question. When did D-Man sell the bear? 30 turns. So, I mean, if you calculate the number of actions here, it's 30 turns, but 6, 12, 16, 25, 31 plus 3 X tokens instead of actions, so 34 actions for Deucey. Yeah, massive card deficit here as well. 130 cards. The 1x token from the adder, true. Yeah, also not having to spend the X token on playing 2 animals worked out. No, he didn't have enough X tokens to play double animals. I'll still stand by the fact that Deucey could have won by more by taking pouching earlier. But it was all calculated. That was game 1. You took 8 minutes to work out that move. Wow. I did see that you went over time. So I guess that was all on that last move there. And look at how close the ratings are as well after that. 678 to 679. Very even matchup so far. So we have game 2. Looking at this from D-Man's perspective. So the maps will be reversed. D-Man's going to be on Ice Cream Palace this game. Deucey on Commercial Harbour. The cards are massive again. I think that was the size I had them. Okay, projects are Bird, Africa, Europe. It's nearly the same, right? Africa was here, Europe was here, but in the middle was herbivores, which everyone just ignored for the whole game. So D-Man's opening hand, his end goals are Naturalist and Large Animal. That's kind of tough. Naturalist, you can basically just ignore on this map. I think he has to kind of work towards Large Animals if he wants any points from it. But this opening hand, we do have 2 Europe, which I think it insta-keeps. Then probably just Sunbear Guided School Tours, just decently strong sponsor. Sunbear for later. I think this is a pretty easy opening hand to decide from. Does go with that. And as first player, wow, Expert in Africa shows up in the display again. As first player, especially because Deucey's associations on 2, he can definitely just build to draw up Expert on Africa here. Like a 2-size here for the Ibex looks amazing. And now he can grab the Africa Partner Zoo, just do that at 2. There's also a Badger on display, which he should be interested in. Sea Turtle Tank, Mamba. It's an interesting line, but I don't think it's just better than keeping these 4 cards. Because it means you have to keep Sea Turtle Tank. Especially on this map, it actually kind of fits nicely here, but you are very limited with your water, so if you're spending a lot of the water on the Sea Turtle Tank, it feels a bit wasted. It could have worked though. Yes, yeah, we also have Bison, so I mean, Bison, Badger, there's a lot of Europe on display. It is a bit slower, but we also have a Uni on 5, so maybe 5 Europe is just the answer once again to getting Uni really quickly. However, Deucey starts with a 5 size here. First action of the game. Does draw from the deck. Expect we're going to see Africa. Ooh. Maybe... Okay, Europe makes sense. I think maybe also getting a little bit scared by the 5 size here. Ducey would definitely be signaling that he wants to play the Bison and like get a really quick 4 Europe. But Europe just makes sense because he's going to play the Ibex and the Stoat and then also probably try to get the Bison for just 5 Europe and free University. So actually, I do like it here. However, Deuce is going to get there first with the Zoo School. Does get to draw it up. Not sure if he planned to play it the whole time. I kind of expect he did, but Zoo School also fits super nicely connecting to the harbour here. Looks like he has another sponsor to play though for money. Plays the Monkey Park, second game in a row for him, and yeah, this is what I was talking about. It fits nicely in the slot there for the harbour. I think D-Man would be a bit disappointed with that. Could consider spending an extra snap off the Badger, but the action order for that, it may be necessary if he wants to like compete on getting 4 Europe. It could just be the necessary move, but it feels bad when you have 2 sponsors you want to play and you kind of want a longer round without hand size as well. Yeah, it does just start with Expert on Africa. Probably going to see a Sos clevered back here. Badger is really good. I think as D-Man's just plays sponsors, Ducey should definitely snap it up. Chooses not to though. Just goes with his Science 2 Rep Uni again, second game in a row. D-Man gets his Badger, so 4 Europe is actually enough for him because he gets 1 CP from Guided School Tours. So as long as he plays 1, 2, 3, plays Guided School Tours, supports Europe at 4, he gets this University first. Red Shank Duke could definitely be. Ducey doesn't have enough money unless he starts selling some cards, which he hasn't done yet. But he does a cards action himself. Could be a few things. I still think it was just for the Bison for Ducey. I'm not convinced he has a big animal, but we'll see in a sec. D-Man builds another 2 size. Ooh, Ducey has a side entrance. I guess a little bit of an interesting decision where you place it. So here's a fun move. You place it in the corner to get the reputation immediately, which I actually don't mind. That gets him 5 rep to upgrade like animals, which he likes to do. The more sensible line would be building it here so you can put 4 buildings around it. The maybe middle line would be building it already touching the Zoo School, so you only have to worry about building 2 more things, even though it's like 1 spot wasted. It does go with the Zoo School touching line. I honestly don't mind just building it over the run reputation. I think it's a decent tempo move. Guys, School Tours comes down. Yeah, now we have that smaller enclosure. Does build it over the draw a card spot, also touching rocks, so could suggest the animal he wants to play needs rock. Otherwise, he just really wants to draw a card here. Maybe just to sell. Now we have the 1 size. Yeah, the great thing is that D-Man can play all these, so we could just definitely see Badger, Stoat, boost up animals, play Ibex, break 3. That seems like a really good next 2 moves for him. Okay, Ducey has Water Playground. That can touch side entrance. Rock Monitor. Could definitely be Rock Monitor. Although, I think if it was Rock Monitor, he'd probably be more inclined to start with Africa. Stoat first is good to hunt first. You never know what you'll find. Yeah, Badger. Good. I think D-Man's in a great spot here. It is the Rock Monitor. Very good call, Ratpong. Has perfect money for it. Can also sunbathe some extra cards if he has any. Does not sell anything, so he must be pretty happy with the 3 cards he has. One of them, most likely the Bison, he would have kept. Yeah, look at how full this map is. I mean, that's very good with side entrance. But the power of 3 animals, D-Man has more income right now. Yeah, it's also a nice kiosk with 3 buildings touching it. Juicy does cards. It's going to sell one. D-Man. That's nice for D-Man. Gets to cause the break with the cards action when he only has 1 card in hand. Here's the Agama, which is perfect. Large animals. Pretty interesting to keep for later. He still has the large animal end goal. We'll see if he has a project. The great thing for D-Man is he's guaranteed this university, even if Juicy has Rock Monitor release, it's not enough to get to 5 CP. But it does start with a 3 size to drop the Marabou, I guess. Okay, so just going to look to play the Marabou and then support to Africa. Marabou nice for double project as well, Africa and birds. Here we just have 4 Europe. I was going to say, definitely like 2 sizes first reward here. You have two small animals you want to play. There's also a pond total you're interested in. Also takes worker at 2 CP, okay. That works because he draws up the herpetologist. Otherwise, it's kind of annoying having sponsors at 5 with an extra worker, but now he does have a sponsor that he can play. Juicy just does an X-back build action. So he's saying, I have a sponsor I want to play, and then I want to play the Marabou. But he does have time to do all this because D-Man is going to play his sponsor, play animals, spend his second worker. Does play the herpetologist. Spokesperson, okay. Spokesperson for the Assos upgrade. Also nice that D-Man denied the hand size uni from Doocy. Bug on pause. I kind of expected the penguin pull as well. There's not really a good spot for it though. But that was the first sponsor that came to mind. Oh yeah. It's just another replay bug with the break, but it is on 0 out of 9. That'll get fixed when someone does a cards action. Wait, Deuce is actually not going to do 2 Africa here. He's just going to grab the double Science Uni and... Upgrade animals. I guess that also works for getting a second worker. Double science, particularly nice because there's a medical breakthrough here. Donation also allows him to upgrade sponsors if he wants it, which he does. Now you can play the medical breakthrough from range, so would expect D-Man to deny that pretty soon. In fact, denying it now looks like spending an X to snap it up. That's maybe a bit overeager. I don't think Juicy has any way of getting it right now. Couldn't afford to play Chameleon from range either. Juicy's map looks okay. It's not completely busted yet. It does play the Marabou right now. D-Man grabs Africa Partner Zoo. We could be seeing more Break Chicken around to Africa, but I think D-Man might not mind going for 5. He has 3 in hand already. Although blocking 2 would be nice because, assuming Deucey's kept the European Bison, he's kind of committed to 5 Europe already. So making him go for 5 Europe and 5 Africa would be a real headache. Does get to Clever Down build with Expert on Africa. Yeah, what is D-Man's plan? We're not entirely sure right now. That's why the medical breakthrough could have definitely been a big mistake, because you have to firstly spend an X to snap it away. It's a dead card for you, and you only really have 2 decent cards in hand. Large Animals is dead. The Agama's okay to play next animal. Sunbear's not playable just yet. So, I mean, snapping medical breakthrough could have been a pretty big mistake. It was a nice move by Ducey to grab the double science and like threaten it though, and upgrade sponsors. Sunbathe, play Agama Sea Lion. Yeah, D-Man has the 3 size here. Goes pretty well with his pack actually, so costs 18, 24. Yeah, just Sunbathe, Medical Breakthrough, play both. I do like that. Pretty sure that's what we're going to see here. Oh, it doesn't even need to because he has the herpetologist, but makes sense to sell anyway. Has also kept a kind of nice spot for aquarium down at the bottom here. Might be interested in that. Chooses not to clever anything back. Ducey now going to grab Europe. Ducey now going to grab Americas. Pardon me. D-Man just breaks here. So for Ducey, the aquarium is pretty dead. It would only fit here, which uses the ×2. Doesn't have build upgraded yet either, but the expert on Europe he should be definitely interested in. At least denying it from D-Man is important because it's just a 5 appeal card right now. Muskox release is a possibility for the America's tag. I mean, there's a few good releases, like Jaguar as well would be one. Juicy plays Diversity Researcher. D-Man does get to block 2 Africa here, which I like. I think always take snapping. Just snap up the expert on Europe. It's a good appeal card. Goes with the denying aquarium, which So he's just killed the last bot for it. It is playable for Doocy anywhere now because he's just played Diversity Researcher, so it also synergizes with the endgames. I'm not sure. My concern for D-Man now is that I'm looking at 2 dead cards. Well, temporarily dead for the meantime. Doocy probably has Science endgame? Maybe. I mean, the double Science Uni was just good for Spokesperson anyway, plus the hand size was blocked, so he does build a 2 size. Yeah, D-Man has to draw from deck here. Unfortunately, kind of misses with this action as well. I mean, actually, no. Savannah's a good draw. Siberian Tiger's dead for a little while. It's definitely worth keeping, though. Well, yeah, you're always ditching Aquarium, but now we should be really interested in the Veil Chameleon, Sun Bear, Siberian Tiger with Asia Partner Zoo. This is now a good plan of how to get points. Deuce grabs Africa now. Gets his last upgrade, so not going to be upgrading build for the rest of this game. Which is also a very interesting decision because he's got side entrance here, so we're not hitting the end game on side entrance. Also kind of funny because he did fill like half his map in round 1, but now we're just not interested in filling it. Car's definitely important when he has already 9 reputation, though. Yeah, I like this from D-Man now. Building the 5 size. Connect to the last kiosk, so income pretty decent. Has a 20-point lead. This is like flashbacks to last game. Has a big point lead right now. Doocy plays animals. Does get 10 rep and draws up the expert on Europe. Plays the Great Area, so because he grabbed the American Partner Zoo earlier, we can guess that it's for bird breeding program that he has in his hand. We have a cheetah appearing, which D-Man should be very interested in. That's like the perfect animal to fit in this 5 size. Go away, then the tiger can fit in there later. In fact, you can even snap it up right here, which I love. Just play Chameleon, snap up cheetah. Takes the cable car instead. It still fits in the map. It's still a good card for Doocy. And not sure. I think cheetah's a very decent animal here. It's also just playable, this move. It's not displaying the discount, but it only costs 14. He has 15. I think slight mistake not taking the cheetah. Doocy plays the expert on Europe, which we knew he picked up. So he has 1 card in hand, which we think is bird breeding program. I mean, you can also understand the cable car snap because it just helps with Diversity Researcher endgames. It's playable basically anywhere on the map. Well, I say anywhere. It's got a few limited spots. I'll spend this time grabbing 2nd University now to upgrade Association. Need that to grab Asia Partner Zoo at some point, which is also important for getting Last Worker. Does upgrade cards as well. Yeah, so these are the only 3 upgrades that D-Man's going to have. Okay, Doocy is doing birds too. Does take snapping. probably interested in the cheetah. I mean, cheetah's also just very good on Commercial Harbor again, because you get to get 3 random cards, and if you don't like them, you can just sell them. He also has the empty 5 size with only 1 card in hand. So yeah, he always wants that cheetah. And now it's a bit of an awkward position, because you don't want to play the Savannah unless you're releasing the Tiger, because you don't want to like release the Stoat and then have Doocy release the cheetah. Now yeah, Cable Car's not even playable here without build getting upgraded. Good point. And there's the bird breeding program. Okay. D-Man just going to cause break, most likely to snap away the bird breeding program. I agree. I think it's still obviously a really good card for Doocy, so maybe... Yeah, I think it's a pretty sizable mistake, because the cheetah was just playable in that 5 size then. Does snap away at the bird breeding. Could also make an argument for the Asia release, because that's another project we can do. Although that's another one that we really don't want to do, because we need the Asia tags to play the Siberian Tiger anyway. Juicy does snap up the project. There's some good animals for him to release here. Well, releasable animals, not good animals to release. Doesn't draw up any of them, so that kind of tells us he has an Asia animal to release, or has other projects to do. D-Man grabs Asia Partner Zoo now. Does donate as well. Yeah, with Ice Cream Palace he has so much money right now. Also gets them at ×2, or the 3 cards. Both are pretty defendable. The cards is something you also don't want Doocy to have, because it's just really good on Commercial Harbor again. But the ×2 could also be scary to leave open as well. The ×2 on Astos can work. He can still do double project here if he has double project, which he doesn't right now. Could also grab like 3rd University as well as doing Savannah. And it's not as risky because he does have Sun Bear, so he can just like X-Back build or something. The break can't happen that quickly. Doocy builds a 3 size. I mean, Doocy's really signaling that he wants to play the Sloth Bear here. I like that then. Builds the 3 size, denies the Sloth Bear. Another denial move, but that one definitely good. And now you can even... Now if there's like some sort of surprise break, like, I don't know... If there's like a jumping animal, then D-Man can play Sloth Bear, Sun Bear, and at least use the ×2. He'd just have to release the Sloth Bear. Juicy has a science lab here, so I don't know if he has research to endgame, but now has 2 extra CP from science lab endgame. Although there's really not much other endgame showing here. Diversity has 1 or 2 appeal. With that sponsor's action though, D-Man is safe to do cards here without having to worry about the ×2 getting broken away. Accumulating quite a few cards here. A lot of them dead though. Cassowary is not great. If he does grab Australia, it can be bird breeding program. Breeding co-op's kind of dead because he's already done Europe and Africa, and doesn't really look like he's going to do 5 projects this game. Whilst the Small's an interesting one. He doesn't... I mean, it's just a decent amount of money to get. He gets like 10 money instantly. It's also pretty good on Commercial Harbor because you just get to snap up extra cards to sell. Yeah, but the reason you always draw from deck is Rhino being here. And he would have preferred Rhino 100%. Deucey just gets the Rhino here, just straight from the card draw. Wow. It's also his 5th Africa icon. Gonna play the... Okay, he has Galapagos Giant Tortoise. And still has the Cheetah. Oh, look at that beautiful timing. Gets the 2 CP from the Tortoise, gets the 3 card draw here, and then gets to Sunbathe immediately. That's beautiful. Sells 2 cards, which is enough for the Cheetah. Plays the Vulture instead. And we know that he has Asia release, so I mean, Cheetah can come after. I mean, things are looking really good for Deucey now, right? He has Asia release, which is a fantastic project to do. He's still got a ×2 coming up later. He's got much better endgames. D-Man currently sitting on 0 endgames and 0 from Large Animal Zoo. So, worth noting that he could actually go for Naturalist here, which is pretty much a guaranteed 2 CP. If he doesn't, he could build like a 2 size for the player sponsor for money. Doesn't actually need to build much more. Okay, as there's not going to be a break, he can just do Sloth Bear into Siberian Tiger, release the Siberian Tiger. Yeah, it does keep Naturalist, okay. I can't be pause. You can still pause live streams though, I think, right? D-Man in a good spot again. It would be much better if you had another project to do. So it looks like the move is going to be releasing the Tiger and grabbing Last University. We can't watch all the games from your perspective, Deucey. Does have the Vulture release. Grabs 3rd uni here. So saying that he has a pretty decent hand that he wants to keep. It's not a uni denial because they have different 2nd universities, so it's not like a block or anything. Oh yeah, actually can release the Chameleon now, can leech off it, can even release the Sun Bear, which is just a better release. Sloth Bear. Yeah, that's a really nice break for D-Man. Does the Sloth Bear release. Opens up the 3 size for this monitor that we've kept. And takes Pouching over the 5 money. Clearly superior player here, D-Man. Great decision. Does the Tiger release into X tokens. Just staying flexible for the next round. Could have also considered some money, get like the monitor played, but he's about to get a lot of money playing Wilds of Small here actually. Deucey plays a nicely timed Explorer. That gives him a bit of money to stay in the round. We know he still has the African Rhino actually, the White Rhino. So hold up a sec. Deucey's going to build a 4 size. He still has Rhino Cheetah. And he has double 5 CP projects to do. Yeah, he can do Species 5 and Africa 5. So even though D-Man has a 20-point lead, it's definitely not over. D-Man once again going for the late game petting zoo. So perfect for naturalists, can build the 2 size over the player sponsor. There is triple petting zoo on display. Wait. I'm not sure about taking the guinea pig. The logic being it's the one that's going to fall off display first. But donkey is just better. I think it's kind of greedy expecting to get these when Deucey also has cards on 5. Because he can just easily draw these up. You know, funny game. Drawing up the guinea pig instead of just a random card. Golden Eagle appears in folder 6 and kills the replay again. Move 353. Just an unprecedented number of replay deaths today. I can never find where it is. Yeah, it gets an eagle from folder 6. Does actually leave both the petting zoos though, okay. Clearly not that concerned about them. Actually plays, actually breaks instead of playing Waza Small. I think there's definitely lines where you could play Waza Small and like, can't quite afford double petting zoo, but you could still afford to play one. Like, the thing is, you could play one of them from range and then snap up the other with the Waza large, with the Waza Small ability. On the other hand, he can play Waza Small during break, and then this animal's action could be like triple petting zoo, assuming he gets both of these, but I think that's pretty unlikely as well. But he keeps the monitor just in case. And he always gets to take the donkey here. Pouches. Okay, yeah, that was just pouching. Pouches that. They'll snap up the donkey. 2 size to play the Waza Small. Do see in chat saying he once again has both eagles, but he does not have build upgraded to build an aviary this game. The brown bear is back as well, but this time it's just a dead brown bear. Neither player cares. Hippo also could be very nice here. Yeah, Deucey denies that. I mean, not only denies, that's just a good animal for Deucey. But it does have to start by building a 4 size for the rhino. And I'm very curious which animals we're going to see. Times 2 on a Sos for sure. He did grab Expert on Americas there, so we may be seeing... I'm not sure. I think it's still just Rhino Cheetah. But the thing is, if D-Man... Well, D-Man can't end this turn. Yeah, I do like this triple petting zoo play a lot. Just play 1, 2, 3 all in one go. Then you can even draw up like the Tarsier, play Tarsier Sunbear to finish. Not sure. Yeah, actually we have plenty of money. Unfortunately, nothing to do with the Sunbear apart from grab. Huh, maybe Eagle Owl's just better. Oh, the bird breeding program got pouched. Yeah, if we had the bird breeding program, then Eagle Owl's very nice to be able to do bird breeding, but that's gone. I can't believe this game gets this close again. Okay, cheetah. Has to be just rhino. Species 5, Africa 5. Yeah, Deucey's just gonna sit here with double eagle in hand, no money, no enclosures. We did say that D-Man's endgames are pretty bad. 2 from Naturalist. Does hit Guided School Tours with the Tarsier. Oh, and the Sun Bear. Yeah, and gets to play both and not worry about spending X's because of Waza Small. So actually been a very useful card here. I was kind of skeptical when he drew it up, but it's paid off big time. Does draw up the Cobra from deck, thankfully. Thankfully, Ducey does not get that. Yeah, and correct move, definitely spending 2x tokens here. Last uni's 1 CP. The 2 rep, you get 1 of the X tokens back, you get another shield, so pretty good cross here. But this is the great thing about upgraded Soson Commercial Harbor. Ducey is going to get 2 donations. We'll have to take a worker with the first reward, but then can take money. Yep, takes worker donation. Species diversity. Didn't improve on his endgames much, so it has 2 from Science Lab, 2 appeal from diversity. Finishing 8 points down. D-Man also has 4 X tokens from Expert on Africa. 125. All 4 from Research Zoo, 125 to 124. So we are going to game 3. D-Man just hangs on to this one. Much fewer divergences from what I would have done this game. I think the game plan was a lot clearer. There was still some. Crazy from Ducey's perspective, though. Finishes with both Eagles again, but doesn't get to play any this game. But very nice maxed out Research Zoo. Amazing. I think a little bit greedy not denying those petting zoos, honestly. Could have definitely been the difference. He already had Rhino and Cheetah, so not even sure what the card's actually really looking for, because you already have your 2 animals. Like, you can just go full denial at that stage. Cheetah Snap with the release, yeah, would have been good over the cable car for sure. But yeah, D-Man again with the late game petting zoo, just filling it up. That won him the game, these 3. It's very efficient when you get 3. Like 27 money for 18 appeal is a huge trade when he had no money left and won by 1 point. So good call. Even more appeal, the donkey gave an X token back. Can cross with double petting zoo. Yeah, maybe giving Ducey the extra turn was a mistake. At the same time, from I guess it is all public knowledge. From D-Man's perspective, though, he already has the eagle. So, like, you know he's going to be able to do animals plus association anyway. Then you might as well max out your own score. But yeah, being able to play the cheetah instead of the eagle did help hit 5 Africa. Which is a pretty big deal, because we're not sure that Ducey would have had another project otherwise. Yep, draw on a 1-point game. This game was 32 turns. But that does leave us with game 3. So the map bans were 2, 3, 6, 9. We've seen map 4 and 7. That leaves 1, 5, 8. I'd be pretty confident both players are going observation tower here as just the strongest out of the 3 left. They are both indeed. So back to Ducey's perspective as first player for the last game. The cool thing about best of 3s is with the BGA system, you can just propose a rematch. So that will automatically flip the first player turn order. That's why we've seen it go back and forth. So Ducey will be first player this last game. Projects are primates, birds, habitat diversity. Endgames for Ducey, research large animal. Research looks pretty nice for him. But yeah, this is the double elephant hand, and there's really not a lot here. So the only clear keep is the flamingo. Matches the bird project, the decent first animal to play. Gives you that Europe tag for habitat diversity. Then there's just a lot of questionable things. The tamarin should be fairly interesting because it does fit primates. It's a different tag for our habitats. And with a research zoo endgame much more likely over large animal zoo, you probably do want to grab double science at some point anyway. So I kind of like 1, 2. Wild especially, you can definitely speculate we're on. Native lizards, you want to build next to the tower, so like maybe it's going to give you 3 or like 5 appeal. The upside with it is that you can leave these rock spots uncovered and just get shields at the end of the game, which could be pretty interesting. So I might go 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I don't think you can ever justify not picking the flamingo, which he does keep here, right? Yeah. The flamingo is the only obvious keep, but yeah, it does keep both the elephants, which really surprised me, which is why I made it the thumbnail. I definitely wouldn't have done it. I don't really understand why. There's a bit of a narrative going on right now that top players are underrating elephants. It's like, it's been common knowledge that newer players overrate elephants for a long time, but maybe now that they're getting a bit underrated. But what I'm looking at here is like a blocked hand for a lot of the game. War Lizard plus Croc. Croc is good value, but also very, very speculative. I think the Flamingo is just such a sure thing that you'd always keep it. But yeah, what this hand wants more than anything is the hand size university, so Ducey does correctly start with that. Also, Flamingo on the display. The annoying thing about Observation Tower is there's no real easy way to draw it up, because the draw spots are in the middle of the map, so you actually have to build like a 5 size for it that's not touching the tower if you want it. D-Man starts with side entrance. That is one way to draw up the flamingo. Build side entrance. Now you can build a size 2 for it. Where sponsorship elephants. It should actually give a discount on elephants. That would be cool. Juicy starts with the 3 size. Definitely expect D-Man to, if not build a 2 size this move, then next move. Yeah, it looks like he's just going to build a 2 size to drop the flamingo. So matches the bird project and just really nice for side entrance. Just put a kiosk on this 5 money. It's a very good start. But Deucey doesn't have a sponsor to play, just wants to get out of this round pretty quickly. Gonna force D-Man to spend this worker now. Yeah, sorry, you can build a 5 hex here and touch tower, that's correct. Yes. Would have been I would have definitely considered that line. If the flamingo was 1 money cheaper, then you could almost justify it. The greater flamingo. Like, you do want a 5 size for the elephant anyway, I guess. But it would completely kill momentum playing an animal in the first round. Yeah, Deucey plays his flamingo. Chooses to put the kiosk in a more centralized position over getting the X token immediately, which I think's defendable. The man plays the lesser flamingo. Cards 4. What? Cards 4 in Deuce's position last move? Or cards 5? No, I think both players are playing like correct action order right now. Deucey is heavily incentivized to play his flamingo because it's touching the tower, he gets extra appeal. D-Man's incentivized to play his lesser flamingo for the kiosk touching side entrance. I think both players are happy playing their animal before breaking. Deucey snaps up the science library, which makes a lot of sense when you look at his endgame. Maybe he was looking at his endgame of large animal zoo and thought like double elephant, but yeah, science library makes a lot of sense here. D-Man just causes the break with sponsors. Should be pretty interested in this vulture. It does give him bird number 2. I mean, both players it gives bird number 2. They should be interested. It does feel bad snapping up science library when your hand is dead. I still think it's okay though. It's just a really strong card, and especially when you have research to do anyway, it has a lot more value. Deucey is gonna grab second uni and upgrade build here. With D-Man's card order, would fully expect him to snap up the vulture here. Can build a 5 size for it pretty easily. Would even get to be able to play it and then support birds 2 this round. But instead takes the migration recording, which would definitely suggest he has a release already. Snap Grass Snake for Europe. As D-Man? That feels a little bit speculative. Deucey building 4 size, looking at this vulture. The vulture that's just popped up on display. He will have first access to it unless D-Man does actually have a release here. Okay, Deucey builds a 1 size as well for the Grass Snake. Does upgrade sponsors. Can't play the Waza special yet, so we may just be seeing a break 5 here. D-Man builds a single 1 size. I'm not sure about that. So the one size means he must have a second bird in hand. Then as Deucey here, I think you just always break 5. I like that a lot. Now if D-Man wants to do birds too, you just break away his worker. And now if he spends his worker grabbing like second university, he's stuck on a SOS at 0, at 1 for the next round. Yeah, it does force him to spend the worker here. That's a very good move by Deucey. Yeah, I think that's a good call that Wazalage could be... It could be okay here. There are these 2 large animals, but it's not that easy to play these guys. Like, Deucey's sitting on 13 income. Even if he has 2 breaks, he can barely afford 1 of them. Does X back animals because he really wants to snap up this vulture. That does give D-Man time to play animals, which feels like a little bit of a mistake. D-Man also has priority or prio on 2 birds right now. It does have 2 birds played. Deucey does snap up the vulture here. Kind of interesting race to Habitats 5. I mean, both players are going to be on 2 each. D-Man has Migration Recording to play, which works out perfectly, giving him the X token to be able to support birds at 2. Wait, hang on. Okay, if Zeusful goes here for the clever, then it makes sense. Otherwise, it's a mistake. Okay, it does get the clever, so it works out fine as well. Okay, uses Zeusful to drop the vulture. Nice. Clever's back cards, already has 5 cards in hand. Yeah, Deucey is going to play Science Library now. No need to rush out the vulture because... I kind of like playing the vulture first, because then you force D-Man to spend an X token to do 2 birds here, but now D-Man is just fine building first and then doing the project. Okay, looks like... Yeah, even getting to build 6 now. 3 size, 2 size, pavilion. Yeah, Deucey not even fighting over it, just grabbing 3rd university himself, actually. Yeah, like I said, when you have research, so you want to grab it at some point anyway. Now playing the vulture gives an upgrade at 2 shields. Ooh. That's also another reason to play the vulture first, because you never know what D-Man's going to do. He actually supports small animals at 2. So a bit of a miss from Deucey there. Could have played the vulture and then done 2 birds. Instead, D-Man gets to do his first project with small animals, takes snapping. Does upgrade cards. Snaps up the Marabou from folder 6, which kills the replay again. Should also keep note of card counts, because the fast forwarding is going to mess it up. Both players are on 4 each, or 5 now. I mean, that does mean that D-Man has 4 birds in hand with the vulture and the Marabou. Move 112. Come on, where to go? Yeah. Okay, D-Man just finished the cards action, just finished the Assos action. Upgraded cards snapped to Marabou from display. Here Deuce is playing the Vulture. Pretty interesting scavenge. Geological's a project to do, but while the Wall Lizard would give 2 rocks, he can't keep both. So does keep the project anyway, but this hand is now looking so dead. At least Waza Special is playable now. I'm not sure you should be using it on big right now, though. Does get the animals upgraded. Now D-Man plays the migration recording. Because he does build a 5 size. Neither player has any partner zoos. Draws from deck and hits a Snowy Owl, okay. That's a fantastic draw. Definitely something you don't want D-Man to get as well. Does play the Marabou. And Hornbill, so D-Man actually does have 5 birds in hand. I think I agree, this is probably the best draw that Doozy could have gotten. Does draw from deck as well. Adventure Playground, now that's another perfect draw. That makes Geological playable. Panda's a bit dead. Pond Turtle could be okay, but we're already using this 1 size. Does keep the Panda just speculatively, which is fine. D-Man has cards upgraded, so gets to draw 1 at a time. Is currently leading 3 habitats to 2. I like this from Deuce here, actually. Spending 2 X's to get that 7th rep from the animals action, then Snowy Owl gives the 8th rep. So kind of forces D-Man. I think D-Man was going to break anyway, but if he had a sponsor he wants to play, then it forces him to break here and break away the worker. Wow, super interesting draw, 1-2. Which I think... Unfortunately, you know that D-Man already has 5 birds, so you're not going to beat him to it. But still pretty nice anyway. Now you could definitely consider just going Waza small. Waza special on small. Yeah, D-Man does break away the worker here. And quite a few cards to get rid of. It's a bit annoying actually. Get rid of Panda, Macaw, one of the elephants maybe. Gets rid of Waza Special and one of the elephants and the panda. I kind of like keeping Waza Special there. I guess you do have like a mix of animals now, but I don't mind playing the elephant then just going Waza Special on small. Yeah, I think Waza has a ton of upside. D-Man's in a good position as well. Like, you know, he has more money right now. you know he's going to win Birds 5. He's also probably going to win Habitats 5, although it's like 3-all because of the shoe bill. Maybe he's not going to win Habitats 5 if we grab Australia here. Grab Australia, snap up the Raccoon could be interesting. Grabs America to make the Macaw playable. Still potentially fighting for Species 5. For Birds 5, but could have also this move played Adventure Playground plus Arcade, which I do like a lot. In fact, I think that's the kind of missed opportunity. Play Adventure Playground plus Arcade in the same move. Then you have your 2 rocks and just support Geological, snap up Raccoon or something. I like that as a move a lot. Yeah, now D-Man grabs Australia and probably looking at the Raccoon as well just to hit 5 habitats. Doocy not interested in staying in this round at all though, just breaks 5. That's also the thing, Doocy doesn't have a lot of money. But D-Man gets to build an aviary here, gets to move the Marabou away. You're just going to see a 1, 2. Ooh, hang on a sec. He actually does win Birds 5. I didn't see this line. He actually has enough money to play both right now. Gets to clever down cards here. D-Man can't cause the break, still needs to play his Vulture. So he actually does get Birds 5 just by having the second worker. I mean, D-Man's about to get the second worker himself, but doesn't have enough X tokens. Unless he has an animal that gives him an X token here, which would be massive. Or like a Raccoon or something, which we know he doesn't have. Does have the cassowary for Bird 6, but it's not going to be in time. Wow. This is a huge steal from Doocy. I would have completely given up on the race for 5, I think, but looks like the right move keeping it. And now you have a tough decision as D-Man here. Does get the Anaconda as well with the America's Partners already. That's going to be a nice for Constriction later. As D-Man, do you break 4 here? Because there's definitely pros and cons of doing it. You're breaking away both of your workers, but this also means that Doocy can do Birds 5 and get the ×2, which means potentially he can just do Birds 5 and break 10, which is pretty scary to come up against. Yeah, so actually just opting to X-back cards and just have them both do projects. 5 bird, 5 small animal. Oh, wow. Huge couple of moves. So the two reputations completely dead for Doocy right now, so he's going to take the 3 size. And I still think he does have time to just get the ×2 on sponsors. He can play the vultures that he has picked up for 5 appeal and a ton of income, which is huge when he's kind of been broke compared to D-Man. And he can also still play Arcade from range, which I like as well. But we may just see him play Adventure Playground, Sponsorship Vultures, and break 5, which is also fine. Oh, Demon actually just breaks away the ×2. Maybe that's sensible as well, because you definitely don't want Ducey playing sponsorship vultures before the break happens. That's like, this is like plus 11 or 12 income. Plus denying, yeah, so it's actually costing Ducey like 20 money causing the break there compared to D-Man's 1 worker. I think that's a fair trade. Also gives D-Man first snap for the Australia release that was on display. But there's also bird breeding program, which both players can do. Does take the Australia release. That's fine, release projects. Especially when you have migration as OP. Ducey should take the other project. Bison might be a little bit interesting, but spokesperson should also be interesting. Do you play 1-2? Play 1-2 or play spokesperson, because this is... Well, the reputation's useless, but it is just an extra CP from Research Zoo. Yeah, it just plays both. And now we have a race for 5 habitats again, which Ducey kind of looks like he's going to win as well. If D-Man wants to do 2 projects, then he has to take a worker here. And then Ducey should really be looking at denying the raccoon. Does have Barn Owl release first. So does take the worker looking to do more than 1 project. Okay. He also gets 2 rep from 5 CP, can just take the raccoon here. Whoa. Throwing away the Europe tag, though, I'm not sure about that. Yeah, loses the habitat. Think this sea lion could be huge. Potentially. D-Man does have Australia Partner Zoo. Oh, for the Australia release as well, okay. Well, D-Man must have another Europe in hand, but doesn't have an enclosure, so kind of risky not securing this race to 5 habitats. Does drop the sea lion there, okay. Yeah, obviously Ducey would be able to play the sea lion and then release in the future as well. Spending an X here to get Australia, most likely. Never mind. Probably accepts that he's not going to win Habitats 5. D-Man has Raccoon plus presumably another Europe tag, so... European Eagle, okay. It could definitely be the Eagle. That would be a good call as well. I wonder if we see it. Builds the 4 size for the Sea Lion. There's also worlds where D-Man just doesn't care about Habitats 5 because he has just amazing projects to do. Like, he has Sea Lion release, he has Cassowary release as well straight after that. Have to be a bit careful about constriction here, though. Could get hit with a double constriction. We'll see. Definitely... Okay, Sea Lion. Does sell to -6 cards, and Raccoon makes sense. Yeah, so I mean, it's just going to be release Sea Lion, but... Surely that has to be a mistake, releasing the Barn Owl first. Releasing the Cassowary just means you can do Habitats 5. But maybe releasing the Sea Lion, he already has a plan for the 4 size. Deucey does cards. Doesn't seem right to do cards here, actually. I think you just really want to use this constriction. That feels like a missed opportunity too. I think just constrict here. Also a little bit surprising discarding the Stoat. Because we have a 1 size already, but... Ooh, he's eyeing the Thorny Devil. He can't get it though. Sorry, he's eyeing the Thorny Devil, so he just had to draw something from display. If he can get the Thorny Devil, there's like a tiny chance he can... Sorry, there's a very good chance he wins Species 5 here, because D-Man's just ignoring it. But we'll see if he draws up the Thorny Devil, because he does get the reputation from the release project. He'd be very interested in the Savannah as well, but Thorny Devil's a good denial here. Yeah, okay, does take it away. Good move. He can also release it as well. He can do the Cassowary release, Thorny Devil release, just all of them. Takes player sponsor for money, plays Archaeologist. Could just be some decent X tokens. Deucey does take foreign. I like that he's collecting all these science sponsors, so he's going to max out Research Zoo again. Plays the Anaconda now, though. You do get to double constrict cards and sponsors, which is pretty annoying. I think Deucey would be kind of happy staying in this round a bit longer. Does have a project to do, has sponsors to play. Fair enough then. D-Man does cards at 3. Expert on Australia appears. Denies that, just denying that 5th continent. Also denies the Bison, which it kind of looks like Deucey wants to play with the 5 size and 3 America tags already. Deucey spends an X to do the project here because D-Man can break. And takes player sponsor for money. Well, just play spokesperson first. It's once again a really close game, right? D-Man sitting here with a point lead and good projects to do. Assuming this doesn't get pushed off the display, display, because Deucey does have bird breeding to push it off. That's true. Play bird breeding first, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Definitely play bird breeding first. D-Man has like no interest in copying it. Like at worst, D-Man can do habitats 4 for 3 CP, which is just better. Yeah, I missed that. I was like, yeah, obviously he's playing geological, but the bird breeding program is just strictly better. Favorite zoo from Elephant? That would be nice. D-Man actually choosing not to break here, just collecting his X tokens with the Archaeologist and a build action. I think should be a little bit worried about... No, I guess with this amount of X tokens, there's no danger. But I mean, gives Deucey time to play Foreign Institute. He's going to get his reputation, probably draw up Expert on Americas here, because it's just a playable sponsor during the break. And he can nearly hit the end game for it if he finds an Americas animal, or even just builds now. But D-Man's going to cause the break here. No, he's going to play his Export on Australia. We're going to see some more break chicken. The fact that he's playing it now kind of signals to us that he has another sponsor to play during break. Otherwise, I think you'd just break and play it during the break. Because now if D-Man causes the break, he is risking losing Australia release going off the display. Oh. This is actually looking really good for Deucey now. Money is still an issue. I was going to say you can build a 5 size here, play Elephant and the Dugong. But that needs 60 money and he only has... He's got 55. He's really close. Deucey can fill map with 2 size reward. Instead of the player sponsor for money. I mean, he can basically... He's close. Oh, yeah, he can spend X's to fill it up. He's just going to do an animals action here. Does have the Agama to sunbathe. So it looks like just Agama sunbathing too. Does sell the Dugong, not interested in at all. That's... Sells the bird breeding because he's going to play the Langer here and calls the break. I don't know if I like that. Because this does just let D-Man do the Cassowary release, which is a pretty good project. Also, still not sure about keeping Elephant over Dugong. Because Dugong basically gives you 2 extra shields by letting you do Habitats 5 instead of Habitats 4. Elephant might give you 4 shields, but also might give you none. I guess there's no 0 shield projects he could have, endgames he could have. Does snap up the Predator release, fine. Oh, actually nice with the Cheetah here. He believes in Favorite Zoo. Yeah, Favorite Zoo would be very nice. Architectural is also possible here. Could be interested in the Cheetah to play it then release it, but... Oh, that's a great sponsor for D-Man. Plays breeding program, so D-Man actually does have Habitats 5 now. Snaps up the Secretary Bird, just playable in the you can even play it in the 4 size just for the extra appeal, but playable in the Aviary. Yeah, it's going to start with Habitats 5. At the very least, that means that Deucey can make Australia release disappear. But I mean, D-Man's on 91 points. He's just going to play animals and end the game, most likely. Okay, Habitat Diversity into 2 size reward. Just takes the extra money. So in an ideal world, then Deucey can fill map here. Petting Zoo 2 size. Pavilion 1 size. Has just enough X tokens to do it as well. But unfortunately, you won't be able to hit Expert on America's Endgame because the Petting Zoo has to go down here and a kiosk can't fit there. But he won't get the extra turn anyway to do that. D-Man has the Cobra this time. Oh wow, he can even hypnosis the SOS action and just do another project now. Does get to do his Australia release as well. Or even just a Rhino project. Wow. That's a killer ending. Cobra Rhino Species 5. That's going to be really hard to beat. Its breeding program endgame. Meanwhile, Ducey only has single elephant to play. Doesn't hit favorite zoo either. Hits diverse species for 2. Imagine if he did hit favorite zoo though. Then would be having a... Yeah, maybe the overlooking... Duel also gives an extra CP from Foreign Institute. Plus, Dugong also allows you to dig for another playable animal. I'm not sure. I think elephant was a bit of a bait. Research diverse species, yeah, just over. Naturals for D-Man. Did not expect that with the side entrance start. And yeah, the last game wasn't that close. I mean, it was kind of close throughout. I think holding on to double elephant definitely hurt the early game a bit. Yeah, not taking Australia partner zoo. I'm not sure it hurt that much. Not taking Australia over Asia though. Yeah. The Asia partner zoo did nothing. He didn't need the extra money. Australia would have let him support Habitats 5 much earlier. I think that's a pretty big miss. Hey Bob. We're just finishing up here. I mean, nice game though, and very nice, very good series. 3 very close games. Yeah, and maybe should have considered break chickening more a bit towards the end of that round, the end of the last round. I think that can also be like fatigue after playing 3 straight games. 3 pretty long games as well. You spent over 20 minutes in each one thinking. Like by the end of it, you're just kind of exhausted and just want to like finish the game. There were probably some winning lines for sure. Like Australia break chickening harder. I mean, that's the result. D-Man wins the series 2-1, and he is going to move on to the semi-finals, which has actually already been played, but I won't spoil the result for that. I'm not sure if it'll be covered on the Emu Cup channel, but from what I saw, it was a pretty good series as well. And I'll be playing my Ostrich Owlympics semi-final at some point, not sure when. But I will be playing my Emu Cup quarterfinal, the final 8. I'll be playing that on Sunday before the stream. Like 7 hours before the stream normally starts. Yeti thinks he's already going to beat me in Ostrich Owlympics. Yeti is my opponent for the semi-finals of Ostrich Owlympics. Yeah, I felt like on point with the analysis there. Especially the first game, I was just predicting all of the right moves. That brown bear ended up being such a huge deal. Like, I spoke about it quite a lot. Both players were really interested in it. It got played to devastating effects. Yeah, this has been a much longer episode than usual because we covered 3 games. So I'm going to call it there. Thanks all for watching. Have a good rest of the day and see you guys on Sunday for the BGA gameplay. See ya.